Alrighty, let's go ahead here with the first personal reading in the queue, which is personal reading order number 17. 17, you'd like to know, are they trying to build a serious partner relationship or just playing games? Let us see. Alrighty. So based off of this combination here, I would more so say that it is playing games rather than trying to build something serious. When we have the Lovers card come forward, it talks about the ideas of having choices or having options rather than trying to move forward in a way that's stable. When we also have the idea here of the Ten of Wands, that's placing too high of expectations on a situation rather than just allowing something to flow forward. So we have this sense of like needing to recognize where we may be pushing ahead for something in a way that they may not be trying to. Also with the Three of Swords, it can talk about a lot of worries when it comes to moving ahead. So Three of Swords, Seven of Wands, they may be worried about how to move something forward or maybe overthinking about how to move things ahead, which causes them to be in a hesitant state of being rather than just trying to jump ahead at moving this connection forward. So I don't really get anything coming forward here to give the idea of things being more in a serious nature. I would more so say that this is more of the idea of playing games or not being as serious or maybe even having too high of expectations out of this person rather than them being able to come forward in a serious nature and being able to move ahead. With the Judgment card coming forward as well, this would be asking for you to kind of reflect on the connection and look at it as to what the world is trying to show you, it's trying to bring forward. So kind of recognizing the signs and signals that are trying to show you the truth of the situation rather than it just moving forward in perhaps our own viewpoint of how things could move ahead. So based on this combination, I would more so say lack of seriousness and more so playing games. So let's go ahead and see for your next question. Will there be a future partner relationship between Christopher and yourself? So based on this combination, these cards are a lot more likely to move forward into the idea of a serious partnership rather than the other ones. When we have this Page of Swords coming forward, it's asking for you to be curious. So it's indicating that there's an opportunity to move ahead rather than it just being something that is going to fall short. Also coming forward with the Emperor is a much more serious natured individual rather than again somebody who is just there to be there. When we have this Knight of Swords energy though, it's asking for you not to get too far ahead of yourself. So Knight of Swords coming forward with the Page of Swords says that there's definitely the possibility of things moving forward into much more serious partnership here between the two of you. But let's not go ahead and plan for 10 years down the road. Let's just take things one step at a time and allow that foundation to be able to be built. Also with the Eight of Swords here, we do not want to get caught up in our mind based off of things other people said. So don't overthink them. Don't overthink, your advice that you're being given in any sort of way, shape, or form, and allow things to move forward in the time and space and way that it needs to, and evolve here with the world in the way that it needs to in order to get this opportunity to come forward. So these cards are more likely to see things move forward towards a serious relationship because we're wanting things to evolve, we're wanting things to have stability, we have direction, we have curiosity to be able to move things forward. Again, with this Eight of Swords though, we do definitely want to make sure that we're not getting overly caught up in the mind when it comes to the possibilities of moving ahead. So I would say even just looking at the two individuals, this connection is a lot more likely to move forward than the other one. It's not 110% surety because we do have this Eight of Swords here, which can get a little bit caught up when it comes to ideas being on the same page or even just communication, which can make things tough. But there is the idea of things trying to move forward into a much more serious relationship than with the other person. So based off this card combination, I would say yes rather than saying no. If anybody is interested in having a personal reading here today, go ahead and visit the website, temperanceandsage.com. We are doing the live personal readings here right now, so if you'd like to have a personal reading done here today, check it out, temperanceandsage.com for the live personal readings. Let's go ahead here on to our next personal reading, which is number 18, or I should say 19. 19, you'd like to know what are their current thoughts about yourself. All right. So it seems like they're thinking about how they can approach you in a new way. When we have the Five of Swords coming forward in the reverse, we want to make sure that we are working together rather than it just being one person's point of view. So if the Five of Swords were as in the upright position, they would say, this is how I want to make something happen. This is how I want to move forward. This is the direction I want to take things. And they would just go ahead in that direction. But with the Five of Swords coming forward in the reverse positioning, it's like they're wanting to create more of a bond building aspect rather than just going their own way. So with that idea of the Five of Swords in the reverse and this curiosity of the Page of Swords, it's like they're thinking about how can they approach you, how can they connect with you, how can they move forward with you in a way that is going to be in a togetherness sort of direction, a partnership sort of aspect, rather than it just being a one person's idea of moving forward. Now, also coming forward with the Sun, they're going to be thinking about the ways that they can make this happen in a new direction so that there can be some positive elements between the two of you and creating a positive direction for the two of you to move forward with. So when we have the Queen of Wands as well as the Knight of Wands, they're wanting to do it in a way that's going to bring in fun, passion, excitement, and desire. They don't want something to feel boring. They don't want something to be too far in the feelings. And they also don't want to promise too far into tomorrow either, since we don't really see any pentacles come forward. They're just thinking about how can we bring in fun into the moment so things can feel exciting. We can spark up in the feelings. We can spark up in the passion and desire to move forward and to see some sort of opportunity come ahead. But again, with the Five of Swords, we're really thinking about how can we make that energy come forward here in a way that works together rather than it's just one person's point of view. So thinking about how to connect with you in a way that works with you rather than just in the way that they want to make something happen. We have the Four of Swords also coming forward here with the Four of Cups, which can say that they are also taking their time to think about how they can approach you in a way that they haven't done so before. Page of Swords coming forward with the Sun, we definitely want some sort of new direction to come forward here. So we're taking our time, trying to be peaceful, trying to be patient with the idea of the Four of Swords so that we can make something be the best possible direction in moving ahead. And with the Four of Cups, we want to make sure that it is going to be an offer that's going to be accepted, that it's going to move forward in a way that is different than the past so that we don't run into the same issues in the past there either. So really just thinking about how to connect with you in a new way that brings in fun, brings in passion, brings in excitement, and brings in the avenues of moving forward in a successful way. So that's what I would say. So if anybody is interested in having a personal reading here today, check out the website, temperanceandsage.com. We are doing the live personal readings here right now. So if you'd like to have a personal reading here today, check it out, temperanceandsage.com for the live personal readings. Alrighty, let's go ahead here with personal reading order number 20. 20, you'd like to know, would they ever confess their feelings? Let us see. All right. So when we do have the Three of Cups energy coming forward here with the Six of Pentacles, there would be an opportunity here to see some sort of exchange come forward. Now, I don't think it would be in the same way that you would be wanting or desiring for a confession to come forward, because we do have the Three of Swords as well as this Ten of Swords coming forward. And the Ten of Swords is a card of betrayal. So this could be that we are expecting something to come ahead. We are envisioning it to be something, but it happens in another way. Same goes with this Three of Swords, wanting it to look like something, wishing for it to, imagining for it to look like something, but it happens in a different manner. So I would say yes to the idea of confessing their feelings, but it may not necessarily be the boombox at the window that you would be wanting or desiring when it comes to connecting with them. We see the Six of Wands, so it's enough to be able to move forward, but the subconscious is looking back. Perhaps it's more of the idea of like, looking back on what we imagined or looking back on what we thought it was going to be like, but then we still have enough to be able to move forward. And the Six of Pentacles, again, gives us indication of being able to connect, being able to move forward, balance something out, so both parties understanding what's going on with the other, but just not necessarily it happening in the way that you want it to. So based on this combination, I would say yes, it does look like they will confess their feelings, but perhaps not in the way that you are imagining that this would come forward. The Three of Cups would still give us an opportunity here to connect, so we're in shared space. We are connecting on our desires, we're being open about these desires, but again, I would watch or caution the imagination when it comes to envisioning what this looks like, because perhaps it just not necessarily will be reflected into reality in the way that you would be imagining for it to. So I would say yes, but I would be cautious as to what that makes you think of when you do get the yes. So if anybody is interested in having a personal reading here today, check out the website, temperanceandsage.com. We are doing live personal readings here right now, and we are on personal reading order number 21. 21, you'd like to know, what is Jeffrey's energy towards you? Let us see. Alrighty, so it seems like their energy right now is very open when it comes to, they seem to be thinking about connecting with you, but in a way that is very balanced and not forced. So with the Six of Wands energy as well as this King of Wands, they're wanting to be in a space that's very open, it's very free-flowing, it has a sense of direction ahead. With the Strength card coming forward, we do not want something to feel forced. We don't want something to feel pressured. We just want an ease and natural flow when it comes to interactions and connections. And when we have the Seven of Pentacles coming forward here as well, they can be thinking about how can interacting with you accumulate over time in the best way possible. And with the Justice card, how can we make something feel balanced? So I see this as them being very open to you energetically, thinking about success or thinking about movement forward, wanting to be in a space that's connected, but not forcing it. We're not trying to go out of our way to connect with you in any sort of way, shape, or form. We're just wanting to be able to see a good direction of energy, kind of, push over the domino and lead itself up to something bigger. So very much open to you, very much balanced. I don't really see them being impatient in any sort of way, shape, or form. It seems like instead they're just coming forward in a very confident direction here when it comes to connecting with you and just really thinking about how they can create that flow to be in your energy more. We have two cards coming ahead here so far as the message from your person cards. We have a need to rebuild, as well as I want to talk about our future. So they can have the sense of like wanting to rework something, wanting to figure something out, especially with the Strength card coming ahead here with the idea of justice. We can be wanting to make sure that how we're connecting, moving forward, our visions about the future can maybe be a little bit more balanced, a little bit more on the same page. Maybe they have some new ways that they're wanting to move forward in life and they're wanting to chit chat with you to see maybe what is your take on these directions, wanting to connect in new ways. Let's see what else we got going on. We have the I Can't Get Enough of You card, which can also come forward as the King of Wands, more of passion, excitement, and desire, as well as the I See You Glowing card. Can kind of indicate that they have seen you in one way, shape, or form. Maybe they've seen you on social media or they've just seen you out in person. These cards come forward very strongly as the King of Wands, as it is cards of admiration and desire. So kind of saying that they are feeling connected to you or they're feeling passionate about you. And this is more of thinking about building up, moving forward, directions of being on the same page, and ideas of the future. And then we also have Just Called to Say Hi. This is, I want to start a conversation, but I don't necessarily know how. It is the idea that we have thought about one step ahead, but we haven't necessarily thought about the directions moving on before, or I should say beyond that. And so it can be them wanting to connect with you, wanting to see some sort of directions and moving forward, needing to rebuild and wanting to talk about the future, but maybe not even knowing how to bring up that conversation or how to connect with you. So I see this as a combination here that's very much wanting to be in your energy, open to your energy, open to the ideas of moving forward and connecting, but not wanting something to be forced and not wanting the pressure on making something happen. So let's go ahead here into personal reading order number 22. If anybody is interested in having a personal reading here today, check out the website, temperanceandsage.com. We are doing the live personal readings here right now. So if you'd like to have a personal reading here today, check it out, temperanceandsage.com for the live personal readings. So 22, you'd like to know what will be happening next for the two of you. Let us see. All right, so we do see very conflicting energy coming forward here. We have double fives coming ahead, Five of Pentacles, Five of Wands. This indicates some more frustration or difficulties between the two of you rather than moving things forward in a smooth manner. So I would say we're landing somewhere in between wanting to make things a friendship, but kind of finding ourselves be in a place of acquaintanceship. When we have this King of Wands coming forward, we're wanting to create some sort of movement, passion, excitement, desire. We're wanting to create some sort of action, but we're not really thinking in the long haul here with this Knight of Swords. We're just more so thinking about the actions that we can take today, and that can make things difficult because we want to close the gap here with the Five of Pentacles. We do not want things to be distant. We do not want things to be challenging, but we find that the small actions that we take don't necessarily lead us in the direction that we're wanting to move ahead into, and we find ourselves in conflict here with this Five of Wands. So that's why I say we're trying to get things to move forward towards friendship, but we instead find ourselves moving forward towards difficulty. And this could just be a matter of not being on the same page, right? One person's wanting one thing, the other person's wanting another, and that makes it hard to communicate or to connect. With the King of Swords, though, we are wanting to see clarity come forward, so you might find more conversations come ahead here between the two of you so that you can clear the air, so you can see some sort of direction come forward. But I would at least say here what's happening next between the two of you is kind of trying to move things towards friendship, but finding yourselves in a place of more distance or isolating sort of directions of energy. Rather than leading towards friendship itself, it looks like there's something conflicting here between the two of you when it comes to communication or visions of the future that makes things more difficult than just saying, oh, let's jump ahead into friendship or let's jump ahead into relationship. It makes things a little bit more difficult when it comes to creating that floor, creating that movement forward. So I would say you're looking at heading towards friendship, but not necessarily it being there. So if anybody is interested in having a personal reading here today, check out the website, temperanceandsage.com. We are doing the live personal readings here right now. So if you are interested in having a personal reading here today, check it out, temperanceandsage.com for the live personal readings. Alrighty, let's go ahead here for personal reading order number 23. 23, you'd like to know what are their thoughts and feelings? Let us see. Alrighty, so with the Six of Cups coming forward with the Hermit, I feel like they're in a space here thinking about what has worked in the past when it comes to connecting with you and how can they make that move forward. And even if it's not connecting with you, it can be with the options or choices in the past in general here with this Lover's card, wanting to think about what worked to create some sort of movement, to get some sort of momentum here, to move them forwards in the directions that they want to go into. So they're really thinking about how can they connect with you and how can they use the past here basically to their advantage to see some sort of way of connecting, especially when it comes to the Knight of Swords, creating some sort of communication or direction forward, wanting to be able to be in your energy, but also wanting to make sure that the interactions that the two of you have are valuable and have a way of moving forward rather than it just being something that we are interacting and then it flops. Also with the Knight of Pentacles, we're very much thinking about how can we see this interaction build up for the long term. So we're wanting to see more and more energy come forward from it rather than it just be something that just moves away after that particular instance of interacting. With the Lover's card as well as the Hermit, though, they can feel like a choice or an option or feel like they're questioning if they are a choice or an option. But the Six of Cups is going to give them a sort of nostalgic sort of direction where they're feeling connected to you, but they're also kind of just questioning how they're connected to you or questioning how deeply the connection is going here. Because that Hermit can feel a little bit lost, it can feel a little bit on their own, but the Lover's card would like to be selected, they would like to be chosen, they'd like to be in your energy. So I would chop this up to thinking about how to connect with you, thinking about how to create some sort of movement so that the connections kind of build up for tomorrow, feeling a passion or a desire to be in your energy, but also feeling a little bit confused as to seeing if that direction is going to move forward. We have the card I'm on the way. The Hermit is the idea of only taking things forward one step at a time. So they may be trying to say to you that they're in the direction of trying to move something forward. They're trying to figure it out how to connect. We also have I don't even need you to explain. So they're not necessarily looking for your input when it comes to the past here in terms of moving forward. They are more so just reflecting on it themselves to think about how they should connect with you, how they should make something happen, or what just felt in general to them like it worked. And then we also have your number, IG handle, etc., etc. I have it memorized. And so this is a way of saying I have a way to connect with you. I have a way to reach out to you when I am ready to do so. So this combination seems to be very much in the idea of wanting to create some sort of movement forward, wanting to connect with you, and wanting to use the past here to be able to get that movement forward and trying to figure out the best way to make it happen while creating a sense of confidence for themselves and moving forward. So they're feeling a bit of a distance here when it comes to you, but also feeling this passion and desire to connect. So that's what I would say. So if anybody is interested in having a personal reading here today, check out the website, temperanceandsage.com. We are doing the live personal readings here right now. So if you'd like to have a personal reading done, you can have yours done next, temperanceandsage.com for the live personal readings.